What's up, guys? Daniel Elias Fishing here. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to you all about that Berkley Forward fishing line. Man, I've been using this for a long time, and I wouldn't use it if I didn't love it, and I'm going to tell you why. So number one, and you've heard the hype about it, it is super smooth. So you get very, very long casts with this line. It has almost no memory, and it really resists line twists. So sometimes you'll actually see some twist in the line, but you don't ever feel it. It doesn't affect the line. It's not going to give you wind knots. I mean, that's the benefit. Every time I try braid, I deal with wind knots that happen periodically, and I've just never really liked it, although I like throwing a fluorocarbon leader. So Berkley Forward is so smooth, doesn't get the wind knots, it's very, very sensitive. But why I like it mostly outside of that is because it has a neutral buoyancy. So it's not like a braid that floats, so you'll get a lot more natural action out of your baits. Now, I don't just use it for forward sonar. Now, it's awesome if you're pinging a minnow, right? Because you can cast it super far. But every spinning reel that I own has Berkley Forward on it. I drop shot with it, I throw a shaky head with it, I'll ping a minnow with it, I'll throw a Nico rig with it, a free rig. I don't care. All of my spinning reels have Berkley Forward, but specifically in 8-pound test. Now, you can get heavier, but I would really recommend 8-pound test if you're throwing like 6 or 8-pound leader, maybe even 10. If you're one of those guys that likes to throw like a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, or more so like a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, I would recommend going up to the 10-pound forward if you're going to throw 12-pound fluorocarbon. I don't do that typically. I'm usually either like anywhere from a 4-pound to an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader typically. So I really like the 8-pound forward. It's just all around the best size. Matter of fact, every reel has that 8-pound on it. Always do the low vis green. Some people really like the white color when you're throwing something like a soft stick bait, like a general, because you can see it on the surface really easy. But we have a lot of clear water out here in Arizona, so I'd never really like those bright lines. And you got to tie a longer leader, which I don't really like having a super long leader. The one thing I would tell you is when you tie your leader knot, and I don't care which one you do, whether you're doing the FG knot or you use the double uni, or if you're like me, I use a modified Alberto or Albright knot, sometimes they call it, but you need to use more wraps. So because forward is so slick, if you use the same amount of wraps that you did on braid, there's a decent chance that that knot may slip out. So when I tie this modified Alberto, some people call it crazy Alberto, I've heard it called a million things, but I use actually 20 wraps. So I go 10 wraps down, 10 wraps back up, I wet it before I cinch it down. You will never have a problem if you use that many wraps, but if you think you're gonna wrap it like 6 times, there's a good chance that that's gonna slip because the line is so slick. So what I would tell you is, guys, if you have a braid that you love, that's awesome. Get one spool of forward and try it. All I'm asking you to do, get an 8-pound forward, give it a shot, because I have a feeling that as much as you love your braid, when you try forward, you will never go back. I'll link it in the description, so take you right to it. But for most people, the 8-pound and low vis green is what you're gonna want. Give it a shot. I know you're gonna love it. Thanks for tuning in. If you've tried it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all.